Tony, I feel incredibly awkward whenever I try to network. I don't know how to do it. I feel like I'm trying to sell too hard. It makes me feel icky. Help me sincerely, Brandon G. So, Jade, is there a way to reduce the schmoozing ick factor when it comes to networking? What's your advice to people?
I used to do a lot of networking events, and the biggest it factor was when people would come up to me and throw me a business card and then walk away without getting to know me or giving value. So I'm very selective with my networking in that sense of, you know, when you're going to do a network, do your homework. Who is going to be there? What vendors? Who are the speakers? Who are the players? Who's the organizer? Go in maybe 15, 10 minutes early, maybe even 20 minutes, because the people who show up early are the players. They're there for a purpose. Be there for a purpose. You don't have to handshake everyone, but have, I wouldn't want to say targets, but have intentions. Have a plan, know who you want to speak to, and be ready, obviously, to just have conversations and make the small talk. But if you go in with a plan, you have the people you want already pre-selected, you're there early, you're gonna probably meet the movers and shakers who you want to talk to anyways. And that's really going to help. And then once you've accomplished your mission, you can leave, you can stay, you can have fun, you can relax, and just get to know people. And it's good to just make contacts in the sense of, don't focus on you, focus on what are they looking for. They don't necessarily want business, or maybe, they're looking for, if you're, it's in networking, as in someone else is looking for a job. Um, they're they might be all looking for one particular job, but networking isn't about finding your thing. Networking is about making a connection to someone who might know someone who might know someone who might know someone. So figuring out what people want. Don't focus on you. Focus on what other people want, and then you can really strategize from there on who can help position you, how you can help them. Because if you help them find a player that's in your Rolodex, they're more likely to find someone for you. So thinking about it really strategically, vice going in and letting everyone know what you're looking for, and then having other people do the same thing. Go in with a plan.
Thank you for that. On that same wavelength, Marsha, social anxiety is something that many of us feel in different circles. How do we deal? I mean, are there opportunities that just aren't great networking opportunities for some of us, so they might be for others? For example, some of us are very comfortable working in a large room. Some of us just would like a quiet dinner somewhere. So, what's your take on that? Is that some good advice?
Um, Social networking, I think, is key and critical. Um, for instance, one of your best social networks is through your volunteer work. The other social network, now this could give people a little anxiety, but I remember when I was traveling all the time, my best social network was on the airplane. I always got off the airplane with 3 or 4 or 5 business cards. I met the head of CBS on an airplane. I met the president of Visa on an airplane, and I kept those cards. So you never know who you're going to meet. In fact, I was just talking with a CEO the other day who spoke, and I said, "Where did you learn to speak that way? What's your experience?" And they started talking to me. And I said, "Well, at your company, do you ever have, great job openings? Because I've got 2 or 3 people I'm working with on helping them find an opportunity." They said, "Absolutely." So I was not necessarily networking for myself. I was networking for my network. And I think oftentimes that's a good thing for us to think about. Always, I just had someone call me the other day wanting to know if I knew someone at a hotel in Miami. I said, "Absolutely. And here the person is, and I'll put you in contact." Now, I didn't need that relationship with the person at the hotel in Miami, but I was able to share it with my network. So you always want a strong network, and it's not just necessarily networking conferences or professional conferences. I network at the grocery store.
Mhm.
I network. I mean,
That's
Don
not
laughs.
hard
He
to
knows
believe
me.
about you, by the way. Not at all.
But I mean, you are surprised at how many people. I met the number 2 or number 3 person at Marriott standing in line at the grocery store because I just brought up a conversation. So networking, I think your social network, your hand-to-hand social network, not on Facebook and all of that, but just being out there. You know, it's like, what didn't Woody Allen say? 90% of life is showing up.
Showing up, right?
So just show up, you know, and if you have social anxiety, then just say in your head, fake it till you make it. The first 2 or 3 times you may have anxiety, but once you get practice, you're good and you're gone. So think about just network with anybody you see. Strike up a conversation. You'll never know where it leads.
Absolutely.
How I got married.
That's a whole other story, a whole other hour, right?
You know, there are some people for whom that just makes anxiety, it makes the rash cover your entire body rather than just selective parts. Okay? So you can network online. Find somebody who could be your wing person, and can, you know, be the one. Bring Marcia to an event. You won't have to say a word. I take it from me. I've done that for years. So yeah, there are people like Marcia out there who actually enjoy networking. And so if you find what I call sort of like an ultimate connector, the person who really gets off and gets satisfaction from making introductions, they're out there. I have somebody like that over my entire career who I would go to a trade show. She would be there and say, "Oh, Don, I need you to meet so-and-so. They've got a problem and I know you can solve it. Let me introduce you." I had a half a dozen over the years new clients. I never had to say a word. This made her feel good. It made me feel great. And I could be the introvert that I really am. So sometimes it's finding someone to pair up with that will sort of compensate for the fact that you're an old curmudgeon like me.